She checked her phone again. No message, no call, no explanation. Just silence, the kind that wraps around your chest and squeezes slowly. Amina had been here before, waiting, hoping, convincing herself that this time would be different. But deep down, a quiet voice was asking the question she kept running from. Why are you still waiting for someone who already knows where to find you? Before the story begins, take a breath. Because what you are about to watch is not just a story, it is something many of us have lived through. The waiting, the confusion, the hope that slowly turns into hurt. If you have ever stayed in something undefined, because living felt like giving up, this one is for you. Stay until the end, because the ending carries a message that might change how you see your own situation. And if this channel is new to you, hit that subscribe button right now. Every week, we bring you stories that make you feel seen, understood, and stronger. It started the way most beautiful things do. Unexpectedly, Ethan walked into her life with a laugh that felt like a song and words that landed like they were written just for her. Late night conversations that stretched past midnight. Voice notes sent at 2 a.m. just to say, I was thinking about you. Playlists, inside jokes, the kind of attention that makes a woman feel chosen. Amina let herself believe it. She wasn't naive, she was hopeful. There is a difference. She thought, this is how love begins. Slowly, then all at once. And when Ethan said, I've never connected with someone like this before, she smiled and let those words plant roots inside her heart. She didn't know yet that some people water a garden they never intend to harvest. Then the gap started. One day of silence became 3. A whole weekend with no word. And when he came back, it was always with something charming. A funny story, a sweet apology, a reason that almost made sense. Work has been crazy. I needed to clear my head. You know how I feel about you. Did she really? Because every time Amina tried to have the real conversation, the one about what are we, Ethan would soften the room, change the subject, or say something like, why do we need to label it? Can't we just enjoy this? And Amina, who hated conflict and loved peace, would nod. She told herself, he's just not ready. He needs time. He's been hurt before. She became an expert at explaining away the very things that were hurting her. She made excuses for his inconsistency like it was a full-time job, and she was the only employee. Months passed. A co-worker asked Amina out. Thoughtful, consistent, clear about his intentions, she turned him down without much thought. Why? Because Ethan. A friend asked her, but what exactly are you two? Amina opened her mouth and closed it again. She didn't have an answer, and the silence in that moment should have told her everything. But she stayed. She invested. She showed up fully for a situation that was only halfway real. She saved his messages. She made herself available. She adjusted her expectations downward, slowly, the way you lower your voice in a room where you're not sure you're welcome. And still she stayed. Because leaving felt like giving up on something that almost felt like love. Have you ever waited for someone like this? Stayed in something undefined because the almost felt too precious to let go? Reality didn't arrive with drama. It rarely does. It arrived on a quiet Tuesday, through a photo on a mutual friend's story. Ethan, a woman beside him, his arm around her shoulders. The caption read, "Finally found my person." Amina stared at the screen for a long time. She scrolled back through her own messages. The "you mean a lot to me," the "I'm not ready for labels," the "I just need more time." He didn't need more time. He needed the right person. And in his mind, quietly, without ever telling her, that was never going to be Amina. She didn't cry right away. She just felt something collapse inside her. Not loudly, just quietly. The way a building settles after years of pressure. She had been auditioning for a role that was never on the table. That night, Amina sat with herself for the first time in months. She thought about all the signs she had translated into hope. The disappearance, she called it space. The vagueness, she called it depth. The inconsistency, she called it a season he was going through. She had taken confusion and dressed it up as love. And in the process, she had slowly stopped trusting herself, her instincts, her worth. She realized the problem was never that she loved too much. The problem was that she gave her love somewhere it was never received with intention. Amina didn't make a dramatic exit. She just stopped waiting. She put down her phone. She stopped explaining his silence. She stopped shrinking. And slowly she came back to herself. Because here's what she learned, and what I need you to hear today. Clarity is not too much to ask for. It is the minimum. If someone wants you, you will not spend months decoding their behavior. You will not rehearse conversations in your head. You will not feel like a guest in something that is supposed to be yours. Real love does not keep you guessing. Real love shows up clearly, consistently, and without conditions. So if you are waiting for someone to choose you properly, ask yourself this: would you have stayed, or would you have chosen yourself sooner? Leave your answer in the comments. And remember, the right person will never make you feel like a maybe. If this story touched something in you, you are not alone. So many people are sitting right now exactly where Amina was, waiting, hoping, calling confusion by the name of love. So I want to ask you directly, have you ever waited for someone who never truly chose you? Would you have stayed longer or walked away sooner? Drop your honest answer in the comments below. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to read today. Thanks for watching.